You guys got it. Satish, is it clear now?
Yeah, got it now.
Okay, fine.
So here I have a question. So assume that like we have a relative path. We are in a D4.
D4,
So
okay.
the present working directory is D4,
Okay,
and the destination will be something like E4, like in
okay,
E1, E2, E3, and E4.
okay.
So for that, how we write like in relative path?
Okay, for an example, okay, if it is a totally a different hierarchy, the suggestion is to go for an absolute path. Okay. See again,
Okay,
using absolute or relative path is up to the individual. It's not mandatory. Always you need to use absolute and the relative. This everything is on the
okay,
individual decision. So if I have in
okay.
what is that? If I have in E4, as per your example, okay. If
Yeah,
I have in E4,
yeah.
the source path will be again the source path will be dot dot slash something Sony. Okay. So now I am in D3. I am supposed to copy the Sony file to E4.
D3. Yeah.
E4 as per your requirement, right? So I am in D3. Now I am in D2.
Yeah.
I am in D1.
Right.
I am in D1 now. Moving two levels back. From D3, I am moving two levels back. Now my current working directory is D1. Now I am in Flash. Then E1, E2, E3, E4.
E3. So
And
here,
the E4. So here,
so how
instead
many
of,
times we can add?
sorry,
So here, how many times we can write this dot dot slash and dot dot slash? So
no,
there is no limit for that. Like
there
we
is
can
no
go by,
limit.
we can go
There is
by.
no limit. If we have a path, that will
Okay,
get executed.
okay,
Uh,
got it.
we know for that you need to know the system structure first. According to one system to one particular, from one system to one system, it will vary. First, we need to understand the file system hierarchy, and then only we need to write this kind of path. So how you are understanding the current file system hierarchy, because which we have given in your the lab book. So first you need to understand the hierarchy which is have been mentioned here in this lab book. So this is our project hierarchy. So you need to understand this first, and then you can illustrate the respective examples to execute it. Uh, okay, E1, E4 means like as Ramesh said, the E1 is available in the starting as like D4. He said E1, E1, E2, E3, E4. This is the hierarchy he said which is available and how we can go to there. So here this is the base directory. This slash is the base directory here. So from D3 I am coming to D2 first. From D2 I am coming to D1. From D1 I am coming to the base directory. From base directory I am accessing E1, E2, E3, E4. So instead of writing this in relative path, so my suggestion is directly you can go for the absolute path, starting from the slash. Instead of writing this, it's better to write the absolute path directly. So this will be something will be lengthy. So that is this not suggestible. Okay, fine. Okay. So this is how you can do it, guys. Okay, so shall we move with the next?
Yes.
Okay, Sai,
Yes.
Sai, your assignment, Kiran. Kiran, you there?
I think they won't be available. Only Ramesh or Deep will have that.
Actually, he was available. Okay, I think he logged in. Okay, right.
Yeah, they logged in, but they left.
Okay. Okay, so today we are going to see about the networking, the concept, how the basic networking setup has to be done in our mission, and how it is being varied and all those things. So starting from the basics, we're going to see now. Okay, here. So basically in the networking, so each and every system is defined by an IP address. Okay, here the IP address, which is called as an internet protocol, which is a unique number assigned to each machine in a network. Now, for an example, I have, okay, let's say it this way. Okay, I have one machine here. I have one machine here. I have one machine. So I can, so in a network, I can, how I will identify this machine? Through an IP address 192.168.1.1, 172.1.3.4, 121.161.128.1. So these are the address of each and every machine. So this is called as an IP address. If you see here, if you see the IP address, each IP address would have been divided into 4 sections. You can able to see which are being divided into 4 sections. How it is divided into 4 sections? Okay, so the representation of a single octet. The representation of the single octet is nothing but the number the 2 power 8. Each octet, you can able to see the IP address is first split into 4 octets, that is the 4 sections. So what can be the number in these 4 sections? That is, you can say 2 to the power 8 dot 2 to the power 8 dot 2 to the power 8 dot 2 to the power 8. So as per the calculation, this is the total number which each and every position can have. The value of 2 to the power is 8 is nothing but 255 dot 255 dot 255 dot 255. Okay, and a single IP will be having a maximum number like this. Okay, so in this it can be, okay, sorry, it is 256 actually, and a small mistake, which is, okay, it is 256.256.256.256. Okay, the number ranges from 0 to 255. Okay, actually the count from 0 to 255 is nothing but the 256. So the number ranging here from 0 to 255, and here it will be ranging from 0 to 255, and here it will be ranging from 0 to 255. So that's how these 4 sections are being divided. Okay, so first it is the 2 to the power 8, and 2 to the power 8 value is nothing but 256, and the value for the 256 is ranging from the 0 to 255 in each and every section. Okay, so again, if we have an each and every bit, okay, if we have an each and every bit, so those bits are calculated. Now if you see here, I have 8 bits here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the 9. Okay, actually it's supposed to be only 8. I think I have added one extra. Okay. Now I'm saying that here all the 8 bits are on. All the 8 bits are on. Here the only the first bit is 0. Here the only the first bit is 0. Okay. Hence the first bit is 0. Here we are having the value as 254. Okay, how we are having the value of 254? The 2 to the power of 0. 2 to the power of 0 will be the 1. So, which is not present here. So, hence we are having it as the 254. Okay, and then, so here I have the explanation how the bits are how the bits are being formed by the each number. So that is to the in the terms of the bits 2 to the power 8. Okay, and here now how we can able to assign these IP address in the real time. How we can able to assign these IP address in the real time. Now, say for example, I have 3 different teams. So finance, support, admin. I have 3 support team as finance, support, and the administration. Okay, and the administration. So here I have the 3 different IP addresses. So 1.32.25.63 and 67 for support and 66 for the administration. I can able to do like this. And here we have the NAT address. Here the NAT address is nothing but the network address the translation. So I will tell you what is the network address translation after explaining the classes of IP. Okay. So here this 255, okay, this 255 IP is being divided into class A, class B, class C, and class D. Okay, and the class E is not used yet. That is, we don't have an IP to be assigned there in the class E. So we are using only class D only. So what will happen in the class A? See, we have the each and every ranges for each class. So for the class A, it will be ranging from 1 to 126. Okay. If you see, what is the model? Okay. What is the model in the class A? Okay. If you take the class A, okay. If you take the class A, here the network model is network ID, host ID, host ID, and another host ID. Okay. You can able to see here the same. And it ranges from, so this is the subnet mask 0.255.0.255.0.0.0. Okay. Now here in the class A we have one network ID and rest are host ID. It means that now say for an example, I have what is that? Okay, in a team, okay, in a network I have some 50 missions. Okay, I have some 50 or some missions. Okay, so all these missions, okay, to make sure all these missions are connected in single network. Okay, to make sure all these missions are connected in single network, what we can do is I can say the finance team. The finance team is working under the class A. How? So here for the class A, the IP ranges between 1 to 126. So this particular network ID will be having a number from 1 to 126. Okay, from 1 to 126. So say for an example, I can make the address as 100.0.0.1. Okay, 100.0.0.2. 100.0.0.3. So this IP is for this mission, this IP is for this mission, and this IP belongs to this mission. Now if you see that all these three mission is connected to a single network. that is to a same network which belongs to class A, but its host IP are getting different. But its host IPs are getting different. In such a way, we can able to assign it using a class A. Now take class B. In class B, we have the model as network, host, host. Okay, so it will be the case 255.255.0.0. So this is the model in the class B. This is network ID and these are the host ID. So the first two digits belongs to the network part and the last two digits belongs to the host part. So by this way the class B is assigned. So what is the range of a class B? 128 to 191. 128 to 191. So that is, I can write as 128 to 191. So now I want to for the support team example. Okay, for the support team I want to assign the IP address in terms of class B. So I am making the IP as for an example 160.170.0.1 160.170.0.2. Again 160 dot, if it is apart from 170, if I am writing it 172, then it will be considered as a subnet mask, which will be not to the, which will be the dependency from this network. I can say in the class B, if I have like this, okay, if I have like this 170 and 172, so this I can call as the B network, the first two, okay. Say for example B1 and this IP, okay, and this IP which belongs to the B network can be called as B1.1. That is and a subdivision from the B network. Okay, in that case I can able to have the IP address also. If you don't want to be have it as a 0, if you are having as a 2, that is 172. Even 172 number belongs to the class B, right? Even 172 belongs to the class B. So hence I can what is that? Hence I can make the 172 as the part of a B network. This is assigning the IP address using a class B. The next one is the class C. So for the class C, okay, for the class C.
So he, sorry, here I have a question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in where exactly we use subnet mask and why?
Okay, now say for an example, you have, okay, you have an office, okay, you have ground floor, first floor, you have excuse me, hello, சொல்லுங்க. நன்றி உங்களுக்கும் உங்கள் குடும்பத்தினருக்கும். அடுத்த வருஷம் நீங்க வந்துட்டு கல்யாணம் ஆகி புள்ள குட்டிகளோட இருக்கணும்ன்ற மாதிரி வாழ்க்கை. இல்லைன்னா பொங்கல் மட்டும் போதும்டா. கலாசலா ஈவென்ட்ஸ் விஷஸ் ஹாப்பி பொங்கல் அவ்வளோதான் போதும். போதும். மெயினா ஃபோன் நம்பர் போட்டுரு. போட்டு ஓரளவுக்கு தெரியுற மாதிரி. ஓகேடா, தேங்க்யூ. Okay, so here I have Yeah, okay. Consider this is an office. Okay. I have the ground floor, first floor, the second floor, and the third floor. Okay. Now all these floors will be having one network. Consider it is class C 192. Okay, 192.168.0.0, that is belongs to a class C. Okay, that belongs to a class C here. Now I will be configuring the ground floor 192.168. with 1.0. Okay, and this is subnet masking. Here I will be making the first floor in 168.168. Okay, assume that I'm making ground floor with 0. Okay. 0.0 and the first floor. The system all in the first floor 192.168.1.0 and 192.168.2.0, and the third floor will be 3.0. Now say for an example I have some 50 machines. I have some 50 machines in the first floor. So I will be making it as 192.168.1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4. It will go till 50 systems. So just by seeing the IP address, then I will come to know that this machine belongs to the first floor. This machine belongs to the second floor. I can able to think like that. Now, for an example, I want to do an antivirus patch update. Antivirus, the patch update. So here, I don't want to do to all the systems in the office. Okay, I don't want to do all the systems in the office. For an example, I want to do only the network or the machines which belongs to the second floor alone. So what I will be doing is I will be just writing, there is a command or there are the major tools to apply it through a particular IP. So I will be giving the range as 192.168.2.1 to 192.168.2.50. So that this antivirus patch update will be applied to all these 50 machines alone, just by giving the IP address. See, these are the things which are, oh my god, okay, these are the things which are being done during the initial setup of the office.
Okay.
So once we plan it in advance, so that we will not do a mess up when the people are working. So we need to have all these ideas and the design work during the setup, so that it will be very easy for the networking team to manage the stuffs. So this is
Okay.
how the IP address will be working. And
So
even if you are a Linux admin, even if you are not on a network admin, so in all our office, we will be having a separate network team, separate Linux team, and separate Windows team will be there. But still, even if you are on a Linux admin, we should be a little bit strong in the understanding the network topologies, so that only we can able to support without
okay.
any issues.
So here, one more question is, so what you explained is about class A and class B and class C. So there you have a separate IP address, like the network 191 to 126. So instead of that, only we can have 1 to 126, and in that we can have submasks for every department.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, is that we can do that, or we can do this way?
No, come again.
Okay, so as you said, class A, class B, class C. So class 1 has a 0 to 126 network IDs.
Correct.
And the class B is from 126 to 168 or something.
Correct. Go ahead.
So here, so my question is, like, instead of we are going differentiate the network IDs, we can go for subnet mask, right?
Yeah.
So we can have all the 255 to 255 network IDs, and we can have subnet mask with each department.
Yeah, you can have it. You can have it. So by having a single IP also, by having it, so see, even that's what we have done in the office. See here, in the office, the G is actually the total offices working on class C IP, which is
Yeah.
192.168. Okay, dot 0. Okay. Now I am doing the subnet masking. Dot 0 is applicable only to the ground floor. Dot 1 is applicable only to the first floor. Dot 2 is only applicable to the second floor. So having the same class of IP, I have made the subnet masking to each and every floor. See, subnet masking is nothing but when you are dividing the IP address, what is that? See, when you are dividing the IP address within the network. So here we have the range for the network IP as what is that? 0 to 255, 0 to 255 and 0 to 255. So here I am having first two as the same, something like 191.161.1. Okay, and here I am changing as 191.161.2. So this is at first case this is one network, that is class C. This is one network, and here I can call these as a subnet.
Yeah.
This is a subnet from the class C. So hence this is called as the subnet routing.
Okay.
Okay.
So one more question is, um, so usually every network or system has one is IP address and another one is subnet mask, right? Is it right?
No. And
Oh, okay.
the system will be having an IP address. So only we will come to know whether the system has been applied through a network or subnetting networking. Only when we understand the total network of an office or the campus.
Okay.
Just by having a single IP address, you cannot able to decide that.
Okay.
You need to collect all the information from all the floors. Okay, you need to have all your IPs. Only then you can able to conclude what is the actual design is.
Okay.
Okay, right. So proceeding with this. So in the class D, okay. So in the class D IP address, we will be having all as a only the network IP. Excuse me. So here we have the class DIP without the network. Without the host. So where only the class D IP address is being applied. That is where we will be having only all as a network. That is n.n.n.n. So here normally in all the offices people will be using only these three networks. That is these three classes. See this. is a standard design which has been designed by the some standard network teams, something called as an ICNA in the America. So we cannot change this design. People will be asking why cannot class A can have from 1 to 200 and the class why cannot 200 class B cannot have 200 to 210. We cannot have that. This is some standard structures which has been decided by some networking association. So where we need to follow the same if you want to connect to the public network also. If you want to connect to the public network also, so you need to adhere to the same. So here I have
Is there any priority? Is there any priority like they design in the way
priority.
like for the class A? If the class A means like there are higher priority systems will be there in that section.
That
Class
would be
B
okay. On a public we don't have. On a public we don't have. But on a private, when you are making on a private network, you can prioritize yourself according to your network planning.
Okay.
In class A, I am having some important data centers. In class B, I have important what is that? Some the antivirus machines, and class C, I am having the firewall networks. So something like that, you can differentiate on your own.
Okay. As a system will be okay.
Yeah. Okay. So here, and the next thing here is we used to use two terms. One is supernetting and another one is subnetting. The subnetting which we have seen here. See here, the subnetting, the subnetting which we have seen here is the what is that? The subnetting which we have seen is the, where the network is going up and the host is going down. Network is going up means okay, the network is going up means. So here we have seen the network address from 1 to 2 it is changing and 2 to 3 it will be changing. So that is called as the subnetting here. Now the supernetting is here the nothing but where the network is goes down. The network goes down means where the network address is same. You can take this example. That is, you can able to see here where the network address is being the same. 160.170.0 and where only the host IP is getting down. So this is called as the supernetting. So whether we are setting up the network by subnetting or supernetting, again it's up to the individual. So whatever the way which we can follow for our private network. Okay. Now coming on to the next point. So how you can able to identify? See here there will be one IP. You could able to see here. I thought you guys will be asking the question, but no one answered it. Here you can able to see the one number which is missing here. That is 127 between the class A and class B. Okay, so what is that 127 is? So here this 127 IP which is called as the loopback address. Okay, here which is called as the loopback address, that is 127.0.0.1. So this IP will not be assigned to any systems in the network. This IP will be not assigned. Okay. This IP will be not assigned to the any system in the network here. Okay. Now see here 127.0.0.1. This is called as the loopback address. So where see we have a in every system. In every system, we will be having a network card. Now consider this is your CPU. Okay, you have one network interface, that is Ethernet card 1, and you have this Ethernet card 2 to communicate with the external network. Okay, you will be here. This is identified by default. This is identified by a MAC address, which is a permanent one. Okay, so this MAC address is something called as a medium access control, which will be permanent to this E1. Okay, and also this will be also having a E2 also will be having a MAC address, which will be permanent to the E2. Okay, first to check whether this Ethernet card, okay, to check whether this Ethernet card is working or not, first we will be checking with the loopback address, that is ping space 127.0.0.1. We will be checking with this manner. Now say for an example, I am making in my machine 127.0.0.1. I need to check the connectivity. So I am getting a reply. Okay, that is the 4 is, it will be checking, sending my 4 packets. So I am getting 4 replies while I am testing this connectivity. Okay, so it means that my my Ethernet card is working fine. So by this way I can able to check whether my Ethernet card is working fine or not. And then here we will be assigning the IP address. So for this Ethernet card I am assigning the IP address as 191.168.1.1. Okay, so I'm connecting my machine to one network as this IP, and with other Ethernet card I'm connecting with the say for example 160.120.1.1. So I am connecting my single machine having two NIC card or having two Ethernet card. So one network is speaking with class C and one network is speaking with class B. So this is how we will be assigning the IP address for one machine. Okay, and these IPs are temporary or permanent, guys?
Yes, yes.
No, I'm asking whether it is temporary or permanent. The IP address which I have assigned.
So the permanent address will be the same as I guess it's 127.0.0.1.
Yeah,
So the MAC
that
E1 is for temporary, I guess.
okay. No, I'm asking about that 191 and 160 IP.
Yeah, that's for temporary.
Temporary. Okay, fine. Yeah, it's correct. So at any time I can change this E1 IP address even to 160, and E2 IP address also can be 191. The only permanent is the MAC address. Okay, now let's see how we can able to assign the IP address for our machines. See, the assigning the IP address actually is two types. One is static and another one is dynamic. So what is here the static and the dynamic IP? Now say for an example.
So dynamic,
Yeah.
and dynamic is will give the range to the particular network where it will assign each system as a dynamically to one unique ID, unique network ID.
Yeah, correct.
So whereas static will be like we give only the IP address to the static. There won't be any change.
Correct.
In dynamic, every time your system log in or log out, it will change.
Correct. Exactly. You're right, Ramesh. Okay. To add some more points to the same, here I am making. So if you are making a static IP address to a machine, if you are making dynamic IP to your machine, so what will happen? Now say for an example, I am making the static IP to one machine as 192.168.1.1. Okay. So even after the reboot of the machine, okay, even after the reboot of the machine, this IP address will be the same. Okay, that is for the static. Now here I have the 192.168.20.21. Okay, and here the after the reboot. Okay, and here the after the reboot, the IP address will be getting changed. That is as 192.168. Say for example 20.30. The IP address will be changed as after the reboot. That is, whatever the IP which we assign here, that will be making it as a temporary one. And here the after the reboot also, it will be working as the same IP address. By this way, we need to choose whether we need a static IP or a dynamic IP. So how this dynamic IP is being changed, and to what level or to what extent it can go. Now, when it comes to the dynamic IP address, they will be in the server, they will be defining the range of the IP. Here I can say 192.168.20.0, okay, till 192.168.20.100. So the every time when the machine is getting rebooted, okay, when every time the machine is rebooted, the IP address will be arranged from this IP pool. So this is called as an IP pool. So only from this range, the IP address will be getting assigned to all the system which is connected in the network. Okay, so that's how this dynamic IP address will be arranged, and this is being arranged by using a protocol called DHCP. So this protocol is used. That is nothing but dynamic
Host configuration protocol.
Configuration protocol. So using this protocol only, this the dynamic address is being arranged.
Yes.
See, even if you see here now, I am connecting to this machine only through the IP address. My server isn't running in the VM, but I am trying to connect from my host machine. First, to connect through the host machine, first I should have the IP address, right? So first I need to check what is the IP address. I will check your IP address by using a command called IP space EA. Okay, so here I can able to see here you will be having some 3 network cards by default. Okay, you will be having 3 network cards by default. Okay. You can able to see as LO, that is loopback address, which we have seen as 127.0.0.1. Okay, and the next one EN016777736. This is the actual Ethernet card which has been connected in our virtual machine, but it doesn't have any IP address here. So we need to assign here. Okay, and the next one is VB virtual bridge 0. So by default, when we are using this VMware tool, it will be it will be aligned with one bridge. Okay. So now out of these three network cards, which one we are going to use? We are going to use this EN016777736. So we are going to use this Ethernet card for our communication. So that is to connect to this server, I am going to use this Ethernet card. So there should be one device, right? So in the example also we have seen something like E1 and E2 in one of the missions. So here I am going to connect my mission, okay, to an Ethernet card with the number EN0. What is that? EN0 1677773736. This is my Ethernet card name. Okay. So for this Ethernet card now I'm going to assign the IP address as 192.168.1.10. Okay, and this is the IP address. Then we will be assigning something called as the gateway IP. I'm going to assign the gateway IP as 192.168.1.1. See, this gateway IP is a common IP to connect all the other IPs through this network. Okay, so that is the gateway here. So to first is to the initial state. So even when you are finding an address in your for your home, first you will be having the street address. Okay, first street or second street. Okay, and then you will be going to the plot number as 10. Here the street address is the gateway IP and plot number is the your actual IP. That is your system IP. Now let us see how we can able to assign this IP in the EL7 system, that is Enterprise Linux 7. Okay. Okay. So these are the common examples which you can able to see for each and every devices. So you can able to view the IP address by this command also, IPADDR, or also you can able to say IP space A. So as I used to tell you at every time, so to get a single output in Linux, there are many commands. Okay, so there is no single command to get a single output. So whatever the command which we use, it's again up to us. Okay. Now this first command will show the IP address as IP addresses, all the IP address assigned to the system. Now the second command, IP address show the device. So here we are having in our system we are having 3 devices. So if you want to show the IP address of a one particular mission, then you can use this IP address, that is IP address show EN0, this one. So it will be showing only the IP address of this particular device, so where there is no IP has been assigned. Okay. So to know the routing information, you can use this IP, and to check the connectivity, you can use the ping space this particular IPs, and to check with a particular number of packets. By default, it will be going with the only 4 packets. If you want to check with the more packet like 20 or 100, you can use this count as check the count with 5 packets, that is C5 or C20. Now, so listing all the connections. So network manager command line interface. That is the meaning of this NMCLI. Okay, network manager control line interface connection show. So it will be showing what are the connection which are available. So that is NMCLI connection show. See, again, you can use your tab key to auto-populate the command. You don't want to type the whole command again and again. So here it says there are two connections are available. Okay, that is VI virtual bridge 0 and EN0 167736. So here I want to check in this which is active. Now under an active condition I have only one Ethernet card, that is virtual bridge 0, but I would like to make this one also into active one. So how I can able to make that? So here I am going to assign a new IP. Okay, I am going to assign a new IP for this Ethernet card. How I can able to assign? See here I am going to use this command, network manager command line interface connection add type. What is the type of the connection? Whether you are going to make an Wi-Fi or Bluetooth or DSL or Ethernet. I am going to use Ethernet. Okay, what is your connection name? You can assign your own connection name here, connection 1 or connection 2 or according to your naming convention. C1, C2, N1, N2 or Ramesh 1, Ramesh 2, whatever it is. Okay, and the next one is the interface name. What is your device name? Okay, to which device you are creating the connection here. Okay, so that device name has to be mentioned, and then your IPv4 version 4, that is IP4, and what is the IP address which you are going to assign? 192.168.1.10. Okay, and this /24 decides the network mask. 24 is nothing but the class C, that is 8.8.8. Okay, I can say it as a 255.255.255. This is this 24. See here, 192.168.1.10. So for this IP, the subnet mask is 255.255.255. We can mention by this way, or 2 to the power of 8, that is 24. That is 8 into, this is 2 to the power of 8. This is 2 to the power of 8. This is 2 to the power of 8. So 8 plus 8 and another plus 8. So which will become as a 24. So instead of mentioning by this way, we can also mention the subnet mask by using its bits, that is as 24. So if it is /8, it means it belongs to class A. If it is 16, it means that it belongs to class C. If it is 24, okay, it belongs to class C. And if it is 32, it means that it belongs to class D. So here by mentioning as 24, it means that this belongs to class C. Hence here we are making it as 24. And what is the gateway IP? So gateway IP in version 4, that is GW4 192.168.1.0. Okay, so by this way we can be able to assign the IP address. Okay, so let me assign the IP address. Okay, all right. So for this, interface, we are going to assign an IP address. Okay, that is NMCLI connection add. So we are going to add a connection. So type, what is the type of the connection? Ethernet. Okay, and what is the connection name which you have? Connection name is, say for example, I'm making a connection 1, or I can give whatever I want. So that's for to make an meaningful connection name, I'm making it as connection 1. And what is the interface name? Okay, interface name is EN, just type EN O and use your tab key. So since the device is already present, it will get auto populated. And then what is your IP address? IPv4, I would like to make it as 192.168.1.10 and mentioning the subnet mask as 24. Okay, and then gateway IP, okay, version 4, that is 192.168.1.1. For gateway, the subnet mask is not required. See here, now what it says? The connection con1 has been successfully added. Now check this command again. Now can you guys able to see the difference here?
Yeah. Connection 1 is added.
So, hello?
How to assign the IP address to the network? So, sorry, to the your machine.
Where exactly
Sorry,
it is changing? I mean, there's nothing is different there.
nothing.
I mean, I'm not getting the variance of these two. Only the name, here the name is changed, connection name.
Okay, okay,
So
okay,
here
okay.
we
Let me.
got 5C, 5.2. There is a, so but that
Okay, see here. Now I will also show another difference here. Previously, when we are using this command, okay, IP address, there was no IP address was shown under this EN0. Now see here. Now it is showing. Now it will show the IP address as 192.168.1.10, which we have assigned it now. Previously, it was showing only this first two lines. Previously, it was showing only this first two lines. Now it is showing
okay.
with the IP address as INET 192.168.1.10/24 and the broadcast IP is it will be showing the gateway IP. Now I am going to connect this machine through this IP from the outside network. Okay, from the outside network. So hence, okay, before trying to connect to this machine, first we should check whether we have a connectivity from the Windows machine. You need to type the IP address. You need to check with both the gateway and the IP address. Only if it is has connectivity, we can able to connect. So for gateway connection is good, and for our system that is 1.10 also the connection is good. So now I am going to connect through some remote place. Consider my server is somewhere else in USA or something. I am connecting from Chennai. So 192.168.1.10. Okay, I have given my IP address. Say open. Yes. Login as root user. Password. And use IP address. Okay. Can you guys able to see the same output here as like in
Yes.
the server? So we have connected to the same machine, and even now I can have this control of this server by executing the command from here. So I don't want to connect it to the I don't want to log into the server actually every time. I can just using an IP address I can connect it from PuTTY and I can work on it. So tomorrow
Okay. So here,
I will explain you the rest of the command. So again there are some handling this IP address. There are some other ways. So there as being an admin. As a network admin or Linux admin, we should know these are the things, how to manage the network. Okay. So on that case, I will explain you these commands.
okay.
So if you guys have
So
the
I have
any
a
doubts,
question here. Is,
yeah.
so now you connected from
No,
from the Windows to server.
correct.
So whereas like from the Linux machine, does we connect the Windows machine?
Yeah. Okay. It's a very good question. So let me tell you. When you are okay, if you are not able to connect, so now I am connecting, it is smoothly connected. How to troubleshoot this or how to verify this? Now here, so how Linux, this VMware is connecting to the Windows machine. You should check your network card here. Okay. Here the network card should have the connection as NAT, that is network address translation. Okay, you should have the network address translation. This should be selected. Only then it will be get connected. So make sure this you have as a NAT so that it will be get connected. Whatever the IP may be, it will be getting connected with your Windows machine. Okay.
Okay. And I mean, a few more questions I have here.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
So one is so for ping. So usually I tried it in the Linux machine. When I ping to Google or something, so it's coming 64 times.
It's coming 64.
So as I said, there will be only 5 times. 64 times it's coming the bytes and the
Okay.
connection.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
When you ping to the
Okay. It is checking by 64 packets.
Google.com.
Okay.
64 times.
Okay.
Yeah, 65 packets. But whereas I have given some 4, I mean, I can change that the number. But as my doubt is, like you said here, 5 times it will show.
Okay.
When you ping to the IP address.
Yeah. So by default, it will be having the 4, and I think for that case, the Google or when we are only pinging to that particular server, that is to the Google server, it is having that number of packets, that is 60 or 80. So as per the network topology, when we are not using any packet numbers, it will be taking it as a 4 as granted to check the basic connectivity.
Okay, and one more question is, so when you give loopback address, as the default address will be 127.0.0.1.
Yeah.
So as you said, we can change temporarily to the address.
Yeah.
So you need to ping for the when you want to ping. So you want to give the same which you
Your voice is breaking, Ramesh.
Oh, I guess it's because of network. I mean, so there are so many people are using.
Okay. Yeah, tell me now.
Yes. So as the question is about the loopback address.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
so when we give temporary loopback address, so do you
Okay,
want
one minute,
ping?
one minute. To just to stop you here, there is no temporary and permanent loopback address. There is only one loopback address which is permanent. That's it.
Okay.
That is, it's a only permanent loopback address. That is, it will be always 127.0.0.1.
Okay.
Hmm.
And one more is about DHCP. So when you have only one system, like I have a laptop, so where I can provide one dynamic
Yeah, yeah.
IP address, where whenever I want to shut down, so it will take another address
Correct.
only for the one system. Does we can do that?
We can do that. So even in the same VMware mission, what we can do is we can set up two missions. Here, this is one mission. I can set up another mission. Okay. So like this, I can make it as like two missions, like one as a server and one as a client. Okay. In the server, I can mention the DHCP IP address 192.168.1.1 to 1.50. So whenever the client is getting started, it will be taking the IP address from the server mission. That is, the IP address will be between this range. We can able to do that by by configuring the DHCP.
Yes.
So we will also see the examples on that in our further classes. Once we
Okay,
complete
sure.
with the networking like DNS, DHCP and all those things. First we need to be a little bit strong in the networking settings first.
Yes.
Right. Anything else, guys?
Nothing. Thank you. Happy weekend.
Okay. So
I'm good.
okay. So practice the same, and you will be coming up with many doubts, and try to clear it and implement it, and make sure you are clear in each and every topic, so that you can able to understand the further topics without any hurdles. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Happy Pongal, happy Sankaranti to everyone.
Happy, happy
Thank
fun.
you.
Happy. Thank you.
Happy Pongal.
Okay. Okay, guys. See you. Bye bye.
Take care.
Yeah.